Does it say test stream there, or does it?
It does. The one more thing, son, and bass with
Wednesday? No, that's brilliant.
London Electricity friends and Paul T Edward Oberon.
The One More Thing, Sun and Bass Social.
Hello, hello, hello. It is Wednesday. We are past the point of no return. This is the One More Thing at Sun and Bass Social. Hopefully streaming complication free today. But if we're not, then you can check out the archives. We've got wonderful guests, as we have done every day. And today is a particularly special day as we're joined by a whole crew. And that crew is brought together by you. Hello, Mr. London Electricity. That was all right. That was quite cheesy.
That was very smooth, though. Very smooth indeed.
But not as smooth as my mic control. There we go. Right, how are you doing, London Electricity?
Yeah, I'm doing good, thank you very much.
Excellent.
Be impossible to not do good here. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Great day, beautiful weather. Yeah, Sun and Bass is where it's at. And happy 20th anniversary to Sun and Bass as well.
Happy 20th anniversary. Like, that's an amazing feat, really. What was the first year that you ever came here? Can you remember?
I didn't come, I can't remember. It was like 2010 or 11, I think.
Right.
So I wasn't here right at the beginning. And I was just blown away when I came. You know, it was just, it's very different from other festivals because all of the artists are on exactly the same level as all of the fans. So there's no ego, there's no hierarchy.
No VIP area, no little kind of roped
none
off
of
sections.
that. None of that. We're all here for the same reason, which is basically to celebrate music.
Yeah.
And to celebrate very high quality drum and bass. It's lovely.
Yeah, and that doesn't happen very often in terms of, like, things always just get bigger and bigger and bigger, as you know yourself. You know, you run one of the biggest brands in drum and bass. Things always get bigger, but it's quite magic. It's quite a skill being able to keep that special essence, isn't it? Yeah,
well, big up to Stefano, who runs Sun and Bass, because he has got the magic ingredient. He understands how to do this, and so basically he takes all the power away from the artist managers and agents. So there's no line-up arguments. You know, everyone just takes the sets that they're given, and everyone's very grateful for it. So it's amazing, really. It's lovely.
Yeah, that's great. And it is, it's putting the power back in the scene's hands and in the community's hands in that type of way.
Absolutely.
Awesome. We're here to talk about Sun and Bass, but we're also here to talk about your new endeavour, really, as well. You've been on a journey, and the last time we did an interview, it's quite a nice kind of full circle moment, this, because you asked me to do a kind of podcast interview with you so you could explain why you left hospital and what you wanted to do. And everything that you said you were going to do is now in action and in process and stuff, really, isn't it?
No.
Oh, right.
Because I said I was never going to run another label again in my life.
I can't remember. I didn't listen to the interview, but you wanted the freedom. You wanted freedom, didn't you? Really, you wanted to be able to maneuver and do things that you wanted to do instead of be tied by big schedules, big plans, and big commitments that all big operations have.
Yeah, that's right. So I developed towards the end of my time at Hospital Records. I developed an allergy to meetings, like boardroom meetings or meetings with 20 staff in the room, and you go there. You sit through the meeting, you know what's going to be decided anyway, but you just have to run it by these people, otherwise they're so fragile that they'll get hurt if you don't. So, I am holding back. I'm really holding back. So, but big shout out to everyone at Hospital Records for putting up with me for so long, because I know it wasn't easy, guys. I know it wasn't easy. Setting up a little label called Fast Soul Music, and it is for my tunes only. So me making music with the people that I love, some of whom are sitting here.
Brilliant.
And it's just nice to have an outlet for my tunes. You know, it really is.
I guess, because I do remember you saying that you didn't want to run a label, but you are a creative man. These ideas still come. You're going to be in the studio. You're going to want to make this stuff. So you're going to want. It was probably inevitable that an outlet like this would eventually exist in order for you to get your music out into the world. Because just because you changed one aspect of your life, the main source of why you do what you do is that burning desire to create, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and you can't run away from it. You know, you can try and be in denial about it, but it's there. So I make music because I have to, because if I don't, I will go crazy.
Yeah.
You know, So it's got there's no strategy or design behind it. I just have to do it. You know?
Yeah, that's it. Like it's a compulsion, isn't it? Really, in that way.
Yeah, it is.
So how did your writing process change after that kind of period of changing your life, moving away from something that had been your entire life for so long? Did the writing process change? Did the creative process change, and the inspiration that you have change?
I don't know if it's really changed, because I'm still the animal that I always was, you know. But there's a lot more room in my head to apply to my music now, and I think I'm a better version of me as a producer than I ever was as a result of that.
Because you're not carrying that weight, you're not taking up that extra bandwidth of other commitments and responsibilities.
Precisely that. Yeah. It's nice. It's lovely.
Can you remember the first time those kind of pennies dropped and you started to hear that in your music and feel that in a way? Or is that still an ongoing process?
Well, no, because when when lockdown happened and there were no gigs, and I was also getting very, very miserable and unhappy about Hospital Records and me, I actually thought I would never make another tune again. You know.
Wow, it got that dark.
Yeah.
Wow.
It did. It did. It really did. And it was only when I just started to dabble in the studio, and that was when I made a tune called Vasquez that came out on the 25 Years of Hospital compilation, or NHS 500, I can't remember which it was. And in making that tune, I sort of realised, I've actually got something I need to do still. And I went on a production course as well called Finish More Music, it was a course that was specifically designed for the mindset, and anyone who makes tunes will kind of know this mindset. The mindset of producers who will make loads of sketches, and they're all 16-bar loops, and you spend about 5 hours in the studio listening to the loop going round and round and round and round, and then you start to get a bit frightened and paranoid about the tune. No one's going to like it, so you never play it to anyone, and you never roll it out into a finished tune.
Do you know I can relate to that on another creative level?
That was made for me.
I think any creative, like the idea of starting something is so exciting, and then you get to that point where the hard work starts, and it's either do the hard work or start another thing. And the dopamine levels in it, and there's always other things popping off in your head, isn't there? So
so this course was wicked because it was angled around breaking out of that mindset, and one of their tools was you set at the beginning of the week, you say, I'm going to make 3 tunes, and I'm going to make them for the bin because I'm going to delete them, but I'm going to make them anyway. So I learned something in making them.
What?
And
literally?
That's a really clever trick to play on your brain, because if you do that, you will just make the tunes because you know you don't need to worry about what people are going to think about you when they hear them.
Wow.
And then what happens is, because you've finished them and rolled them out, you then realise they might be quite good. And you keep them.
So you don't have to stick to that rule.
No, but you can. You know.
Wow, that's a really interesting one. You are literally, so you're going. It's for the process. And it is all about the process.
Not for the
it?
results, not for the end game, not for what you hope to get out of this tune. It's simply for the process of making it.
Wow,
which keeps you in the moment. And they also taught me things like always leave your phone outside the studio, and preferably turn off your internet connection.
Yeah.
So that you haven't got those distractions, you know, which is something I've kind of forgotten since I finished doing that course. I need to remind myself of these things. But it helps you be really productive.
Yeah. So who runs that course? Because I think anybody watching this who produces is going to be thinking, oh my God, that sounds like me.
It's a guy called Keith Mills. Big up Keith. He's been really, really helpful. He's got a good podcast series as well called Finish More Music. And he's a bit of a legend.
Right. So, and this could apply to any type of musical songwriting, anything, any type of instrument. It's not just production in that type of way. Anything. It's a mindset thing.
It applies to anything you do in life, really.
Yeah. That sounds really inspiring. So I'd like to have some music before we get into the fast soul music story. I'd like you to play a song, hopefully an exclusive or something to tease people. Let's set the scene for anybody watching now, and big up everybody who is watching on Twitch, YouTube, and Sun and Bass Facebook. This is where Tony is at and where fast soul music is at right now.
I'm just going to run this by my label manager first, Ed. He's sitting over there. Big up, Ed. Am I allowed to play anything?
Okay. We've had the thumbs up.
Okay, this is the first release on Fast Soul Music. It's called Don't Stop, and it features Doctor on vocals.
Brilliant.
Keep on going, don't stop.
So that was a bit of an exclusive. That's not out then until the 26th, so quite a few weeks' time, the day after my birthday, actually.
Oh, amazing.
Cool. So why this particular track? 'Cause I'd imagine you've made quite a body of work. We're going to find out about this. Was there... I mean, I love the message of Don't Stop. I actually have that tattooed on my hands for personal reasons, and quite obvious reasons.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I think, don't stop. Like, if you no matter how hard it is.
Get a picture of Dave. Yeah.
Brilliant. On either side of his head or something like that. No, it
Yeah,
sounds like I'm going to box your ears.
In my
I'm not.
face. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
I wasn't expecting this to get so violent so quickly. Right, tell us about this particular one. Why are we launching with this one?
I can't remember, but there was a good reason, apart from the fact that I like it, it's lovely. When you're working with different artists, you have to get the stars aligning with your schedule. So some artists have got different releases at different points. So, you want a release with a certain artist to land in a unique space so they haven't got anything else going on,
Yeah, that's getting harder and harder as well, isn't it? Especially with a man as in demand as Doctor.
Yeah. Big up, Doctor. I mean, he's such a genuine, lovely guy. He's so helpful and friendly. It's really, really nice.
Oh,
I
brilliant.
mean, all the artists that I'm working with are people that I love to actually be in the room with and spend time with, as well as kind of like musically.
We had
It's
one
really
of them
important.
on yesterday, actually, a guest who was bigging you up and said he's working with you, Anil.
Yes,
I
big
don't
up,
know
Matt.
if that's
Absolutely.
a little bit of an exclusive to drop there, but
No,
he's
no,
already
no.
said it in the interview.
I've got that tune.
Brilliant,
So
brilliant.
We'll play it in a bit. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
great
yeah.
to see him back as well, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. He's such a brilliant producer, and he's an interesting guy because he's got a really high-powered day job, so he's not like most of us. He's not dependent on this. He doesn't have to do it.
Yeah.
But he's a genius producer. He really
That's
is.
been a question. That's been a conversation topic that I've been having with a lot of people just socially while I've been talking to people, is that kind of the choice between full-time music or having a job and music remaining in that kind of pleasurable hobbyist, very high level, but hobbyist kind of position, like anybody who just play an instrument for pure pleasure. And it's that kind of defining line really there, isn't it, between whether you actually take an income from it or not. And it does make a huge difference. It adds a whole other layer of pressure, doesn't it, when you're actually earning from your creativity and relying on that.
I think it can make it very difficult to kind of stay in the moment while you're working, to get in the creative flow, because if you've got so much attached to what you're doing, it can really influence the decisions you might make, and it can lead you down the wrong path decision-wise, because you're suddenly thinking, I've got to hit this many streams with my next tune because my manager says so, or my bank manager says so, and therefore I need to look at what is streaming loads, and then I need to make tunes like that, and then you step away from who you really are.
Yeah.
And people aren't going to stream you unless you're being original and authentic to yourself, I believe.
Yeah.
I might be completely wrong. I'm sure I am.
You might go, there might be the odd rogue tune that does get successful because you've copied a formula, but that's not going to be conducive to longevity, is it?
No, it's not. Wouldn't be good for my happiness anyway.
No,
Put it that way.
no. Definitely. And it's very clear from the audience that we have, and we're going to start bringing in a moment, is that you're working with people who inspire you, you're working with people who you really want to work with, and who also have that same kind of mindset as well.
Yeah. Shall I play the tune with Matt?
Yeah,
Okay,
let's do
okay.
it.
This is
We're
actually going to
have
be, I think it's going to be the fourth release on the label.
exclusive.
And this really is. And it's with Zara Kershaw on vocals as well.
Brilliant. And there's a jingle.
And Isle, and it's called Unfrozen.
Destination Sardinia. It's the one more thing Sun and Bass Social.
Oh, yeah. With London Electricity and friends. Keep it locked. And thank you to everybody who is viewing on the stream.
Slow motion, watching as it all slows down. Softly spoken, laying in the silence now. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Here we are. and I like how we breathe in, breathe out.
So huge shouts to Anil there, guest from yesterday, and that's a real exclusive. That's going to be the 4th release on the label.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Quite some time.
Yeah.
When would that be then? Probably New Year?
Probably
or?
about February, I think.
Wow.
I've also got released on a couple of other labels as well. So I'm doing 2 tunes on Metalheadz.
No way.
Yeah, yeah. Got released on Heads, which is exciting.
Wow.
Yeah, big up Goldie for that.
Oh, what? London Electricity on Metalheadz. Like, hang on, I really wish I had an air horn jingle or sample or something like that. That's amazing. So have you been, when did you make these tracks? What mindset were you in? A London Electricity release on Metalheadz.
Yeah.
That blows my mind. That makes me very excited.
Over the last couple of years, I've made these tunes, and I was talking to Chris Blue Martin, who's like my mentor in life, and I was like, what should I do with this tune? He said, I know, send it to Goldie. I was like, okay. So I did, and Goldie rang me, he's like, that's wicked. Can I release it?
Wow, okay, it was phone call level. Wow.
So yeah. Well, Goldie does phone calls, you know.
Yeah. He does only when he's gassed up. Like I've had those type of calls as well. Anybody in the drum and bass scene, when you have an interaction with Goldie and you have a call like that. Hopefully not a 4 a.m. call. I would imagine he called you at a more convenient time. Or
Yeah, he did, but he lives in Thailand, so 4 a.m. is a convenient time for him.
Right, so is that 2 tracks? I guess.
Yeah, 2 tracks. I'll play one of them.
Oh my word! And then we'll have some guests, I think.
Yeah. So this is called All on Top, and it features Genesis, Elijah, and Conrad Subs as well.
Wow. London Electricity on Metalheadz with Genesis, Elijah, and Conrad Subs.
That's right.
Wow. I thought the Loki revealing that he was going to do his DJ set was going to be a big exclusive. Or LSB saying that him and DRS really buzz off like 80s music like Kate Bush and listen to her on tour quite a lot. But that's probably the best exclusive we've had so far.
Wicked.
Wow.
Wicked.
It's all on top, it's all on top. I'm trying to sort it, figure out what's what. But it's all on top, it's all on top. It's all go, mate, it's all non-stop. That money didn't really change a thing. They think my life's all cushy cause I raked a bit of paper in. But I'm raging, my patience is paper thin. Tried to break through with the music, didn't break a thing. They tell me break a leg, I break a sweat on stage. Killing it, flabbergasted, I ain't made it yet. They say you ain't made enough if it ain't changed you yet. I've been making it since the baby blue Averett.
Big up everybody in the chat who's joining us on all the various streams, YouTube, Facebook and Twitch. Big up Blondie, big up Skibbadeep, big up Yason as well. Some regular viewers who've been tuning in to this every single day, which is absolutely amazing. So now we are about to invite a few of London Elektricity's friends. So there's an all-star cast, which we weren't able to fit in the actual kind of title of the episode. But we have Catching Cairo, we have BCee, we have Degs. And each of them are going to come up and we're going to have a little chat as we move along through the fast soul music story. So I think Tony's just going to pick a tune, so I'm just going to pad for time. And in fact, this is exactly why I have some lovely jingles. How do you like this jingle?
You're in tune with the One More Thing Sun and Bass Social. Keep it locked.
Please do keep it locked. This is brilliant. We're actually seeing the stream hasn't gone down yet. We've got a new internet connection. I'd like to formally apologise to everybody who watched yesterday and kept on dealing with the stream going up and down. I'm really, really grateful for everybody who's tuned in and sent messages and stuff, and Sun and Bass for having us. It's been an absolutely beautiful 4 days. As you can hear, my voice is croaky, but it is nowhere near as croaky as many of the ravers who've been shouting and whistling and probably smoking lots of tobacco. But I'm not here to offer health advice. I'm not your mum or your dad. I'm just here to play another jingle. I'm going to stop that jingle because Tony's got the tune. And please let us welcome a new guest to the show. So here we go, Tony, you stay involved as well. So here we go, we've got Catching Cairo. Hey, hold on. Should be, hold on. Is it that one?
Hello, here we go.
Is that coming?
Yeah,
Yep.
it is.
Brilliant. Cool. Tiffany, Catching
Yes.
Cairo.
Hello.
Thank you for being on the show. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm good. I'm very warm and happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did you get here?
Got here on Sunday.
Oh,
Sunday
wow. So
night.
you've been here for quite some time
Yeah.
then, soaking it up. You were here
Through
for
the
the storm.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The turbulence was intense.
Yeah. Yeah, wow. Okay, so is this your first ever one? I think you were here last year, weren't
No,
you?
this is my first one. This is my
Right.
first time, yeah.
What do you make of it all?
I mean, it's just like the pictures. It's just like I've been told. It's amazing. I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't want to create too much of an expectation, but the festival so far has surpassed any expectations I did have.
Go on, brilliant. Who's been your highlight?
Marky yesterday was pretty cool.
Oh, Marky and
That was
Di.
pretty funky.
My word.
I was dancing.
Yes.
Yeah, that was just such a wicked set, wasn't it?
Yeah, just a history lesson. So Marky and Di played for 3 or 4 hours. I think it was like 3 hours, and they went from funk and disco. They took us on a journey. They showed us where the music came from.
Yeah, it was
Well, they
lovely.
reminded us where the music came from. Oh, I've got goosebumps now. Like, wow.
Yeah, it was special.
Brilliant, cool. Right, so, I mean, you kind of relatively new, really, as a singer and a songwriter to drum and bass. What led you down this path? Because you've got an amazing voice and a talent. You could have gone in so many directions, and I imagine you do in other kind of fields of music. But what took you into the world of drum and bass? I think it was BCee's. I think it was Productions with BCee was the first time that I came across your voice and your name and stuff. But I'm not too sure if that was the first
Well,
producer you worked
I
with.
first released, my first drum and bass release was back in 2014. And prior to that, I guess I got into singing on drum and bass from raving and getting on the mic during the rave. Lots of my friends, they span D&B, jungle, garage, and they knew that I could sing. So we were like, let's make some songs. And we put them on SoundCloud. And I've been making music my whole life, to be honest. I study music from college to uni. I have a master's degree in music.
Brilliant.
And
What else do you play? You must play. You're
I play the
multi-instrumentalist.
violin.
The violin.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm grade 5. I haven't played for ages, but I'm actually starting to practice again.
Wow.
And I can play some guitar as well.
Brilliant, brilliant. So this was always like Tony, like what we were saying. This was a compulsion. Then this is a compulsion. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
something that you have to do.
I wouldn't be doing anything else. I don't think I'd be alive. Kind of what Tony was saying. It's my survival. And it's my passion. It's what I believe I was put on this planet to do. So that's why
Brilliant.
I'm always going to do it.
So what was your route to become? Yeah. Let's get a
Yeah.
round of applause. Like,
100%. Although I would like to interject and say
Yeah.
you've been holding out on me. You could have played the string parts on the tune, but you didn't.
I know.
What's that all about?
Well, I like to
Move a bit
I like to
forward.
focus on. I don't like to spread myself too
You're up front
thin
there.
because I can get really overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I think a lot, so honing in on my music was just a way of me focusing myself. But I am starting to practice again, so maybe
Wicked.
next time,
Next tune.
yeah.
Fantastic. Have a fiddle solo.
Yes, exactly.
Nice.
Brilliant. Live negotiation, live creative meetings happening here on the One More Thing Sun and Bass Social. So what was it like then? Tell me about the track then that you're going to release that you've been working with Tony recently.
Go on. From your perspective.
Okay, what was the question?
Tell me about the track that you've done.
So the track, can I say what it's called?
Yeah, you
It's
can.
called Always Golden, and lyrically it's about kind of the nostalgia of getting separated from your people and the memories of how things used to be. And I guess I wrote it about my feeling of growing up and how the world's just constantly changing around you, and you can get kind of lost from your people and yourself, really, because you're trying to survive all the time.
Yeah.
and
You haven't got the space to think about everything else, that you are just in the moment, really, and like you say,
we're trying to
surviving.
everyone's just out here trying to survive. Like in the UK, there's a cost of living crisis. There's lots of mental health things that we all struggle with in our own personal way. Sorry, I'm feeling emotional now. Like family and stuff. I guess most of my songs are rooted in life and love anyway. So, the message is just to remind people that you are still you, even when
You're not feeling like
when
you?
you're not feeling like you. Or I guess when life still changes, you still are golden inside, even when you feel like around you it's impossible to be.
Go on.
If that makes sense.
Yeah,
I don't know if that makes sense.
that makes complete
I
sense.
think the song, when you hear the song, you'll get what I mean.
Go on. I mean, were you aware of that? Is this something that you discussed, Tony, or is that the first
Yeah,
time you've heard that?
totally. So we kind of scripted out the whole kind of psychological and emotional background before I even started making music, and I just
wow.
sampled loads of harps. No, we didn't. We didn't. We
I
didn't.
thought you did. I was like, that's a really interesting way of writing.
No,
setting this scene
I'm
and talking.
I'm pulling your leg, Dave. I'm sorry.
You
I think
pulled it
when
well
we-
and truly.
When we were recording though, we had a really good, because that was the first time we met in person, isn't it? And we had a real good kind of heart to heart.
Well, do you
just
remember I
talking
sent you the
about-
sketch and I'd muted everything
Oh,
apart
yeah.
from like one little hi-hat or something.
He
Do you
said,
remember?
he was like, it's really experimental. And then he sent me this thing and it was just like, ooh, some hi-hats. It was so weird. And I
I
was
forgot
just
the
like,
drums and the bass.
and I was just in the car. I was thinking, this is
To your
this
credit,
is very
though,
experimental.
You didn't tell me to f off. Because we didn't know each
No,
other.
we didn't
You could have
know.
said this man's a joke.
I mean, I thought
know?
maybe he's forgotten something. Maybe he's having me on. I don't
Fair
know.
play.
I try and be as patient as I can.
Yeah, you were very
sometimes.
patient.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it all kind of came together. And what was amazing, because I was a fan of Tiffany's voice anyway, but you never know when you work with a singer how they're actually going to be in the studio.
Yeah.
And she's like a one take wonder in the studio. She just nails it. It's amazing. So the session was really quick. Should we play it?
Brilliant. Yes, please. Yeah. What's
Wicked.
it called again?
Always Golden.
Always
Always
And
golden.
this is Ed. When's this coming out? End of October? Beginning of 31st of October.
Wow.
Whoa.
Another exclusive. Tiffany, thank you so much. That's
Thank
been
you for
amazing.
having me.
Thanks, Tiff.
Thank you.
Yay!
Where you at?
Wow. We are in exclusive Central, another dub play, another forthcoming special of Fasho music featuring Catching Cairo. That's not going to be out until the end of October. So all of you lucky stream people are being treated here to some incredible exclusives. We've had exclusive every single day, but I think we've gone into kind of dub play overdrive here with Mr. Elektricity. So going to invite another guest in a moment, another collaborator, another close friend, and an absolute don in his own right as well. He's here on the lineup. He's here as a major guest. He is known to all of you. His name is BCee. Everybody, you guys have a little round of applause. Let's make some noise.
Make some noise for the man
comes
like Steve
up here.
BCee. Come on.
Hey.
Come on.
There we go. There we are.
Hello.
Hello. Hey,
Tony's
that's a
giving me a
nice little
cuddle.
reach around there. Brilliant.
How's that sort of party, Dave?
Well, we're in a magical pizza oven. Anything can happen in the next 10 minutes.
Yeah. Narnia's through there.
Brilliant. How are you doing? I know you're doing all right because I've seen you like 3 or 4 times this week now. I know you're having a good time.
Mate, I love sun and bass. I'm going to say this in the faith that my wife doesn't like drum and bass enough that she's never going to watch this. I'm away from my wife and kids for a week, and I've been let out and unrestrained.
Someone get Mrs. BCee on the phone.
Danger,
please. Well,
danger.
actually joining us via Zoom,
and
our
really-
special guest, BCee's wife.
Yeah, it's fine. She's working on our garden project, the thing that on Instagram I take all the credit for. So yeah, I'm painting myself as an absolute arsehole of a husband. I'm actually very nice and miss them, but
I can see the consequences stretching into the future
Yeah.
of what you've just said.
So if I'm not here next year, we know why.
But that brings up like something that is unique about Sun and Bass. We talk about how magical it is, but it's also, it's a marathon, and for all of us who've got families at home who can't bring our families out here. Yesterday, I hit a wall, like the technical troubles that we had, and the fact that I'm missing my family manifested on the heat and stuff into something pretty fucking low, if you don't mind me swearing. We do miss our
I'm a
families
bit
when you're out
offended,
here. Like when you're out here for a whole week, like that's a factor of Sun and Bass which kind of needs to be acknowledged. We miss there's some homesick people out there, I think.
Yeah, do you know what? Joking aside, my wife is the biggest person to push me to go out and actually make the most of it and enjoy stuff, because I used to turn up at things like this and spend most of the week in my hotel room, and they were saying I'm backtracking, and I'm totally true. But she's
Trying to repair the damage
so her thing
already.
is if you're leaving me here with the kids to do all of this work, and I've got to been run the ship for a week, and then I find out all you did is got drunk and stayed in a hotel room, I'm going to kick your ass. So you need to at least go and hang out with some people and do some stuff that's potentially going to pay our mortgage, basically.
Yeah, or inspire you, make a connection
That's what I
and
meant.
stuff like that.
What, are
Come
you
on.
getting paid?
Well, I'm not.
Are you getting paid?
I'm a really good
Right.
pickpocket. Down the beach every day, mate. Hands in a few wallets.
I've got
This is a
to
side to
say
BCee.
that I'm here with Mrs. Coleman over there. Big up by Coleman.
Hello.
And we are absolutely gutted to be here and not at home with our 2 teenage sons. It's just heart. No, it's not. I just hope they don't burn the house down and they get to school on time. That's all.
Brilliant.
If you really wanted to take this to the next level, you should have put a goggle box style microphone on Tony's wife eye over there.
Yeah.
Because every time Tony says something, we then get a different version. It's like, she watches on.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be.
You get the
broadcast.
real story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So take me back to, let's just understand your connection, you two, and how you two kind of bonded beyond the realms of just kind of drum and bass in that type of way. Because obviously, you wouldn't have invited Steve on for no reason. I believe that you've collaborated as well, that you have a tune together.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
News to Steve.
It's coming out on your label, man.
It is, yeah.
Tell me about your connection and the kind of moment where you two became friends. There must have been a bonding moment or two.
I think it was the moment where I think Steve posted a video, or he was talking about when he was working in a farm.
Oh no,
And,
I've been banned. My wife said when I said I was doing this, do not talk about animal stories. When you get together with Tony, animal stories come out. It's not a good look for you.
I'm here for
And
the
he's
animal
doing
stories.
it.
Am I not allowed? Am I not?
No, you can. You're doing it, not me.
Well, it was at that time when everyone in drum and bass and music in general was getting really kind of precious about kind of like fragility and mental health and everything. And Steve just kind of came out with this story that he was in the farmyard and he was washing his tractor with a pressure hose or something, and there were some ducks. He was trying to get one of the ducks out of the way with the pressure hose, so he squirted it, and its head came off.
I mean, it's almost.
Let's leave it at that. Let's leave it at that.
The result is the same. Yeah, but
was this the ducks crossing the road one?
No, just for the record, that was a complete accident. I was horrified. There was no fun involved in that.
Yeah, but you enjoyed telling the story, and it says something about me that's why I like you.
You weirdo.
I know.
I think, from my perspective, I became friends with Tony quite gradually. I remember going to
it was a difficult
jazz
journey,
cafe
yeah.
and seeing London Electricity live and said, hi Tony, I really like those tunes, and I think I sent you a T-shirt or something. And I feel it's quite cool that we're now friends. To the little me then, to the me now thinks I've got friends with this kind of weird guy.
You weren't little.
I wasn't little, but for me, I think what cemented it is when I came to the hospital one day, and this is another animal-related thing. I came to the hospital office, and I bought you a whole box of pork.
Yeah, that really cemented the relationship.
From my small holding.
Yeah.
Never since
wow.
then.
That? A big coal box full of cuts of pork.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
From a pig that I had personally reared.
And killed.
I didn't personally kill it. But no, what? And now my whole family, after our farming experiences, we are now vegan. But
I was literally about to say shouts to the vegan community twitching, or streaming, or watching.
After looking after my wife, one day after we used to have. We used to run a school for kids that had been kicked out of mainstream school. Part of that was running a small holding. We did look after our animals very well. The duck incident was when I was like 18 on a farm for somebody else. We looked after ours very well. After we stopped doing that project, we went and visited a commercial pig farm one day. We saw how they were all kind of packed in and everything else. And my wife saw that just was like, I can't put I'm never going to give another penny to that industry. And she hasn't. Wow. I have, but she hasn't. And my kids... My daughter, I don't want to go too off topic, but I think you'll find this funny. My youngest daughter, I got a call from the school one day, and they were really apologetic, and they said, "We're so sorry, we didn't realise Isla, who was 4 at the time, was a vegetarian, and we're so sorry we've been giving her meat." And I said, I didn't know she was vegetarian either, but one day she had been given her school dinner, and she just marched it back and put it back in the hatch and said, I'm a vegetarian. And she's now 12 and she's never eaten meat again. So
wow.
There you go. That is nothing to do with music.
She's going to go far.
Yeah.
Shouts to my daughter, who's also a vegetarian and 12 years old as well, funnily enough. Wow, go on. So enough of the meat there, and to avoid any beef, to avoid any beef or pork with the owners, we need to get on with the show and the actual musical track.
Okay, sorry about that.
I want to hear this. Tell us about this track. That you're going to play.
This tune, it's called Diamonds in the Rain, and it features Ruth Royal on vocals. Big up Ruth.
Big up Ruth.
And the most fascinating thing about this tune is that when I came to Steve's studio to work on it, it was kind of a sketch. We just like, let's vibe it in the studio, and so we put the sketch on, and it was in his old studio, and he had these Venetian blinds that really vibrate when you turn the bass up.
The full windows did.
And he was like, I'm really sorry about that vibration, and I was like, that vibration is wicked, let's record it. So we recorded
I love that.
each window with a mic, and then sampled it, and then built it into the bass line, so it's got this kind of like this lovely vibrating thing going on with the bass.
Almost like that rattling sound that you get in really cool
Oh,
underground.
And we went nuts. Like, honestly, there was about 8 takes of different windows. There's more layers of the window rattle than anything else in the track.
It's true.
Brilliant.
And each one's automated as well. Yeah.
It is. Yeah. There you go.
Wow, so let's see if we can hear that rattling sound within this track. So, yeah, do it.
We didn't end up using it. No,
when's it coming out?
It's coming out in January. I can't remember the exact day, but January next year as part of the 20 Years of Spearhead compilation.
Woo!
Very honoured to have you on it, Tony.
Years.
Amazing.
So thank you for making that happen.
I'm very honoured to be on it.
Yeah.
Don't touch that dial. It's One More Thing, Sun and Bass Social with Dave Columbo Jenkins.
wash away the diamonds in the rain. Those diamonds in the rain. Yeah. Those diamonds in the rain. Oh, and I
Wonderful, wonderful stuff there. That was London Elektricity and BCee. That one's coming out then on Spearhead in January there, which is amazing. Like, we have been subject to some incredible unreleased exclusive stuff, so exclusive that hopefully there'll be no copyright takedowns or warnings or infringements on any of the channels that you're watching on. But I don't think so. Nobody said anything in the chat. Anyway, thank you so much to everybody who has joined us. We've got loads of different people who have all popped into the chat. Big up Gooder, big up Skibbity, big up Gwyn Thomas as well. Like, big up, man, one of my oldest friends watching. Big up Blondie, big up Special Tater as well, and big up Degs, who is the next guest invited by London Elektricity. So come on board, sir.
Come on, Andy. Grab that mic there.
Yay!
All right, guys.
Hey.
How we doing?
How
How's
you
things?
doing, man? Very, very good. Let's just talk about the Randall tribute the other night when you'd arrived. You just arrived like 2 hours off a plane. We're both standing on the side of the stage and you're literally screaming in my face. Like,
Yeah, man.
What? Goosebumps.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that for a start.
No,
I'm sorry,
it was
man.
amazing. It was an intimate moment. I wanted
Yeah.
to scream back, but it was too sudden that I screamed about 10
Got
minutes
quite a loud
later.
voice, haven't I, to be honest, yeah.
It was amazing. It was. I mean, that night was just. I've been to some parties in my time. You've been to many parties in your time. How was that on a scale of 1 to infinity?
Well, like you mentioned, 1 to infinity, I like that. Like you mentioned, I just jumped off the plane, we were delayed, and we finally made it to Amber Night, and obviously Randall, a huge inspiration to many of us sitting here, but of course across the drum and bass community, and obviously having Fat's wife there, and also an ode to Comrade. And actually, when you put it together like that, and you realise how many legends that we've lost in recent times, it's actually quite difficult to talk about, especially me primarily being an MC. You know, Comrade and Fat, obviously Randall's a legend to me, but Comrade and Fats, particularly for my style, Comrade to me kind of wrote the blueprint. So to see the three of them in particular given the love by the people, but also the DJs and everyone just connected with Sun and Bass was, yeah, it was amazing, man, but also very, very emotional, emotional.
Yeah. I mean, I was chatting to Hydro earlier, and he said Strategy summed it up. Like, Strategy said, I can't be sad about Randall anymore because all I think about is the happy stuff and the positive stuff, and we were all so lucky to have spent time with him and been within his orbit, really, in that type of way. I mean, that's a lovely way of looking at the legacy of anybody, really, in that way. I think Sun and Bass is great at celebrating people in that type of way, really, and remembering, you know, kind of where we've come from. But we're here to talk about the future. Actually, we're going to talk about the future in a minute, because this is more, you've invited Degs just as a friend and as an inspiration, really, haven't you? So actually, I want to dwell in the past for a moment and talk about kind of how you two became connected, really, and how, I'm in hospital was a huge, like, this is when you were at hospital, was a huge boost to you, because you've been doing the Belgium circuit as an MC for quite some time.
Long
You know,
time,
you've been active for a long time, and I think it was the spray out video, really, wasn't it? And was it your attention that it attracted? Were you the catalyst?
It was in the summer of, was it 2017? It would have been.
Yeah, it would have been, 2017.
Yeah, summer
right,
2017.
September,
I was in the hospital office, and it was just me and Blue Martin in the office, because everyone else was on holiday or whatever. And he said, "Come and look at this," and he played me this spray out video. It was on Facebook or YouTube or something of you. And what were you spraying out over on that first one? It was
an
North
old,
Porter tune,
it was a do you know what? We Were Kings, Lensman,
That's
and
it.
Red Eyes, two
That's the
unbelievable
one.
producers.
That's the one.
Sorry for using their tune in advance, by the way.
And I was like, wow, who's this? You know, and Chris said, I'm not quite sure, but I think, you know, and he looked at me and I looked at him. I said, I'm going to sign him. And he was like, yeah. So I signed him while everyone else was on holiday. And then,
Nice.
And they came
No
back and said, oh, by the way,
20
P.S.
meetings or
I've
anything
signed,
like
no meetings.
Yeah.
None of those meetings. I just did it. And then, and they came back and they were all like, what? Who? You know, but obviously they would after they got to know the man, they were very, very happy, you know. So
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I have to give Tony and shouts to Chris Marigold as well, Blue Martin, the utmost respect, because they took a punt on me when pretty much no one else was. And I remember during that time, because obviously I was mostly in the jump up, in the like kind of side of the scene, because I wasn't really like doing much singing, because I didn't think it was something that people really liked. I remember someone telling me, one of my pals saying, like, the whole dual MC singing thing doesn't work. It's either like one or the other.
Wow.
And that's why I was like, I'd never really done it. I was just like, you know, just licking off bars about smoking weed and just really stupid shit.
I love the photos of you of that time with like you, Kamo, Headaches, and all of those guys. Super young. You got a little moustache.
I did it. Very, very questionable moustache. Like, I'm not gonna, you wouldn't allow me to be outside any schools with that moustache, I'll tell you that. So yeah, whoever let me walk around the earth with that moustache, I fucking hate you for that, man. It's disgusting. Like, come on.
But it was, back then it was called sing-seeing, wasn't it? Yes. Remember, you were a sing-see.
A sing-see,
if you sung and MC'd at the same time.
It was weird because they were just like, the amount of people that would tell me to, and one thing I really respected about Tony and just generally the wider hospital family is that it was like, pick one. Either you want to be a singer or you want to be an MC. You want to be a host or you want to be like a rapper. What is it that you want? Whilst with these guys, they were willing to kind of allow me to
flourish
and experiment a little bit. And some of it was, you know, Tony will tell you himself, like, was massively critical of certain things that I did because my songwriting was quite raw and it needed to kind of be brought in to make it a little bit more palatable. But the hospital were willing to work with that, and so I'm really grateful for them.
I love that though. I love that kind of rawness. That's where you find where your style is, surely, and what your signature is.
It's quite preachy. I need to stop doing that so much. But apart from that,
I don't know. I mean, but that's your own self-critic there, really, isn't it? And you know, I think I let it on a bit too thick, and my kind of output as a journalist and as a presenter as well. And I think you need to be that kind of critical in order to. But it's a fine line because if you're too critical, then you stop yourself and you overthink.
Exactly,
really.
And that, honestly, throughout the years, I mean, I signed to a hospital. It would have been 2017, end of 2017. Yeah. So I would have been probably like 28, something like that, and I've been making drum and bass music for like 14 years by that point, but never really understood what I truly wanted to do. And a lot of that probably was self-sabotage, I imagine. Like, a lot of it is just over-criticising stuff to the point. Actually, Tony kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, talking about finishing tunes, and a lot of what he was saying resonates with me because I'd be like, I'd get to a certain stage, I'd be like, actually, do you know what, that kind of sucks, I don't like that anymore. Or you'd end up comparing yourself to someone else, you know. Like, I grew up listening to some of the greatest, right, like Darrison, Stamina, Fats, and these guys just have like an unbelievable knack to say really poignant things in very little words, you know what I mean? So something that would take Stamina 5 words takes me about 55, as you can tell by this ramble. And that's like something that I had to kind of like work on and improve, but luckily under this man's guide, leadership, or whatever you want to say. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Leadership. Don't know why you laugh like that.
That's weird.
Are you leader? Are you a leader?
No, I'm not a leader.
Okay. But it's the universal language of songwriting here, isn't it? And this is beautiful because you come from, you know, kind of jazz and funk and soul, and you know, but something like in terms of kind of songwriting, doesn't matter what genre or where you're coming from. It's the execution, articulation, and those kind of nuances transcend any type of genre or any type of style, really.
A good song will work in any genre.
Yeah,
that's the point.
I agree with that.
Right. I'd like to see you MC on a Gabba set, and I'd like to see you do a rhythm and blues set.
I'd like to see that as well.
I would.
Who else would like to see that? I think everyone would like to see that.
I think we need a bottle of tequila for that.
Thanks, Dave.
Sun and Bass 2025.
Could you imagine that on La Cinta, like a Tony and Degs Gabba set at 250 BPM? I think everyone would leave.
Amazing. So what do you make of Fast Soul Music then, and what did you make of Tony's decision when he left hospital and is on this endeavour now? Like,
as a friend of Tony's, massively happy for him. Of course, I feel like his, you know, I mentioned to him earlier just during the break. Like, I think the new output that he's putting out at the moment is what I think London Elektricity is. It's out there, it's experimental, but it's relatable, it's palatable. Personally, as an artist, I have to admit I do miss him on the label. I miss his influence because obviously, you know, out of anyone on the label, it was him and Chris Marigold that kind of believed in what I did. So selfishly,
they were your people. Like,
yeah,
they were the
so
people who sent stuff to you.
Not too happy about it, but apart from that, you know, obviously we've remained good friends and all the rest of it, and I'm very happy to be on hospital now. It's obviously slightly different, but there's no doubt that I miss his kind of influence, especially when it comes to like the songwriting side of it. But seeing how well fast soul music is doing, and with that first single with Doctor, like it's an amazing tune, man. So yeah, like overall, it's a positive thing. Even though I've died.
Does it give you space to be friends more now that there isn't a kind of, employee artist contractual type of relationship? Not that it sounded like that ever got in the way anyway.
No, I mean, we were always friends, weren't we?
Yeah, man. Yeah,
so,
man.
No, that was never a thing.
No, cool.
We've always really enjoyed each other's company.
I mean, the thing is, with Tony, we can talk about stuff outside of music, which is quite nice, which doesn't always happen in drum and bass, right? Like we live in kind of this, I don't know, this like atmosphere where it feels like sometimes all you can talk about is the music. I don't really have that relationship with Tony, to be honest, and maybe it has opened up the opportunity for us to kind of go down that path a little bit more, but I don't know, like...
I think that's a really interesting topic, because being here with just like the amazing conversations I've had with people, both on this show and just in general, you realise really who your peers are when you're here and the type of people that you kind of gravitate towards. There's some people I know I've seen on the lineup I'm excited to see, and I haven't even seen out on the streets. Yeah. There are other people I keep bumping into, and there's probably a reason for that. We're going to the same parties, and we're having really beautiful, deep, wonderful conversations. And I think like drum and bass is always quite protective. Like some people won't talk about their music or their things. I was talking to Benny L about this last night. He was saying everybody keeps their secrets to themselves, and he wanted someone to geek out with and properly share production tips with, and he thought that people were almost too protective. So sometimes we talk about the music but skate around the important things in a way, really, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely, man. But I mean, if talking about where we are right now, Sun and Bass as a community doesn't necessarily feel like that. I don't know if you agree with that. Like we can, it kind of feels like we're all pals here. We can talk about our lives outside of music and also have really educational and like life affirming conversations about drum and bass itself, because for me this is the mecca of D&B festivals, and literally the highlight of the calendar, not only for the music and the style of music but also for the people that are here. I enjoy everyone's company, and it's never bad vibes at Sun and Bass.
You're absolutely right, and I do feel like I felt in the 6 years that I haven't been here, so I've only been here twice, 2018 and now, like the difference between kind of where I am within the scene, but the acceptance from, kind of having Groove Rider tell the coach driver who I was and ticking him off the list, he's like, got you covered, son. Like that, little things like that, almost like a paternal kind of link with some of these people. And it's that kind of feeling of just like this is beyond peers. This is really, it's where the word scene, because the word scene gets thrown around and the word community gets thrown around, and family. There are real aspects of that here. There's a genuine connection, which you don't see backstage.
There is genuine love.
Yeah. And that's not cheesy or cliched. Like, it's real.
Yeah. We've all got each other's backs. And I mean, like, what you were saying earlier about the Randall tribute night, which unfortunately I wasn't here for that. I can't think of any other genre who honours its fallen soldiers like we do in drum and bass.
Yeah.
It really says something about the solidarity within the scene, about the unity.
Definitely. And that goes for everybody. Last time I was here, it was Marcus and it was Spirit as well. Yeah, absolutely. There's a realness there, really. So, I mean, tell us now, because you haven't done a tune together yet, but I would imagine...
No. We tried.
There is going to be some Degs representation on Fast Soul Music at one point in the future, hopefully.
I'm sure there will be.
It's up to the boss, man.
It takes two to tango.
It does. And to be honest, another thing that I like is the fact that we're not trying to force anything. It's when it happens is when it happens. I do feel that now you leaving hospital and being a part of your own imprint kind of sets up more opportunity for something more bespoke for us to happen, So
at the right time.
I would love it to happen, and it's certainly on the bucket list. So yeah, we're gonna make it happen. Don't know if it'll be 2024.
You got to play this thing. You got to play this thing. You got queued up here.
Yes,
all right.
We've got another exclusive. Oh my gosh!
So this track is it's a cover basically of an old UK soul classic. There's Nothing Like This by Omar, and at the moment it's just a dub plate. I don't know where it's going to go. Not many people have heard it, so I hope you guys like it. But yeah, it was produced by Makoto and Elside, and obviously this is the kind of music that, like, my mum used to pick me up from school, and this was what we playing at the radio. So yeah, means a lot to me, man.
And there is nothing like this as well.
There is nothing like this. Not a Sun and Bass, baby.
Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. Exclusive. On the track.
chord of the night, ringing in our ears, we're in flight, and there's no substitution for what we have. No others can have. There's nothing like this. There's nothing like this. There's nothing like not even remotely like this.
Hey, wow. We've been in exclusive central for the last hour, and those vibes are going to continue as we welcome Paul T and Edward Oberon in a few minutes' time.
Yeah.
But let's just wrap up. What have we learned? We've learned that Steve is in trouble. Steve BCee is in trouble with his wife.
Yep.
True.
And that he
Deservedly so.
he's a murderer. We've learned that an animal.
A duck murderer.
Please. We've learned that Catching Cairo is a multi-instrumentalist, an incredibly beautiful and deep soul. And we've learned that Tony has got an amazing project on his hands. And he's probably in one of the most inspired and kind of relaxed places that maybe I've ever seen you in all my years of interviewing.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
Brilliant. And this is great. We've actually wrapped this up in time, and we've learned that Degs, well, we already knew that Degs could sing a beautiful song like that. This is on an Omar level. Look at the goosebumps.
Oh, bless you,
They're
man.
real.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. I'm just goosebumping the whole way through Sun and Bass. I mean, what does this place mean to you, Degs?
I mean, I kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. Like for me, without being like too hyperbolic, like this is like the mecca of drum and bass for me for several different factors. The music, of course, is my favorite kind of style of drum and bass, like soulful, liquid, and a style I don't necessarily think there's been massively popular in the wider world in the last couple of years in comparison to more kind of like harder stuff, you know. But also, like Tony mentioned earlier, it's the community, the fact that there isn't a backstage, there isn't a place for artists to hide away or anything like that. So everyone's just kind of chilling with each other and sharing stories and moments with each other. And it feels like for the week that you're here, it feels like it's the most supportive place on earth. And something that, I hope I get to come every year. And without begging Stefano, I'll probably DM him every year, to be honest. But yeah, man.
Definitely. And yourself, Tony, I mean, where are you at now? You've got all of these releases kind of going into the next year. You must be really, really kind of happy with where fast soul music is at the moment.
Yeah, I'm really happy, and exactly what Andy said about Sun and Bass as well is, it's almost like we all come together here to recharge, not just recharge our batteries, but it is for our mental health as well. It's like really, really supportive and really important, and it kind of keeps us going through the year. You know, so...
and in a competitive scene, because it is a competitive, and it has to be competitive to keep the benchmark high, you need that. You need the balance, don't you? So if it is competitive, to have that time where we do connect and have that time and the space to be able to do that.
And to be in a bullshit-free zone for a week with the most amazingly selected musicians, artists, vocalists, DJs. It's just brilliant. It really is.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a perfect summary there. So Degs and London Elektricity and everybody who we've had so far, BCee and Catching Cairo as well. This has been absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much. So we're going to welcome now our next guest. Yay! Like an awesome round of applause. Thank you, Tony. That's been brilliant. So Paul T and Edward Oberon, if you would come up from your spot, your lovely shady spot in the audience. In the meantime, I'm going to play a little jingle.
You're in tune with the One More Thing Sun and Bass Social. Keep it locked.
Yes, yes, yes. And a big shout out to everybody who's joining us in the stream. We've got loads of viewers there. We've got Unknown Factor, Special Tater, Yason. We've got Gooder, of course. Like, this is brilliant. So thank you all for tuning in. Let us know what the weather is like in the UK. I'm assuming that a lot of you are watching from the UK. I've been told that it's pretty rubbish, but it's lovely here, isn't it? So here we go. There's a microphone for you, Ed. Excuse my headphone cable. And a microphone for you. So come a little closer. I'm a little bit croaky. Ed, the whole festival are croaky.
Lost your voice a bit.
Lost your voice as usual.
Brilliant. How are you doing? I'll let Paul settle a moment. Ed, how are you doing?
We're all right. Yeah, we're really good. I love being at Sun and Bass. It is absolutely amazing here. So, yeah, doing really well. We're very busy, aren't we?
We are busy at the moment, yeah.
Yeah, we're just writing a lot, playing out a lot. We did a tour in April and May to Asia and Australia.
Oh, wow. Is that the first time you've toured over there?
Yes, it was. I think we both played over there separately before,
we've
haven't
done
we?
separate gigs, haven't we? Yeah.
We've done separate gigs back in the day, but it was nice. We went with the V family, so that was really good.
Oh, wow. Wow.
You get to spend loads and loads of times with Brian, really.
Yeah, we did. We had lots of fun with Brian.
Brilliant. I bet that was jokes.
It was really good. It was.
It was mad. The whole thing was mad, yeah.
Cool. Move a little closer, Paul, to make sure that we've got you on the camera. Yeah, let's let's
Do you
get
wanna
friendly.
come here?
So, I mean, the reason why we're here today is to find out where you guys are at, because you're just in the process of launching something really, really special, aren't you?
Yes, that's right. Do you want to tell them about it?
I'll let you do that.
We were just asking about this. So we've got a new project which is called GrandNu. Obviously, we've been with V Recordings for a long time, but we're very happy as producers and artists. But we wanted to kind of start something new that was a slightly different project where we can release music and sort of foster lots of energy between younger artists and budding label. So there's an outlet for newer music and stuff like that.
Brilliant. I mean, this is the theme of today's conversation, is kind of new beginnings in that type of way, or new projects, really, and that's exactly what London Elektricity is doing. So was what he was talking about, did any of that kind of resonate with you then, in that
100%.
type of creative freedom and ability, as you just touched on, to be able to respond to ideas that you have with immediacy and not have to worry about like release schedules and stuff?
Yes, it's a little bit different being behind the controls somewhat, but it's isn't it? But it's refreshing though as well, because then we can kind of have a little bit more say into what we want, or different artists that we might like that we come across.
Yeah, just the overall artistic way that the label's presented, and with every release and all the curation of all the music, which obviously we're picking. And obviously we've got a young gentleman called Zach, big up Zach, who's actually got involved.
Oh, he's not here, is he? Because he said he emailed me personally saying that he's gutted that he
in spirit.
Yeah. Big up Zach.
Big up Zach.
But he's pretty much putting the energy really in that we need as well, because we're busy doing the music and we DJing, family, life. So he's come in and he's just giving us a little boost of. Just a boost of youth.
Yeah, that's it.
Well,
Youth injection.
I think you need that, and that is a conversation that I had with the Space Cadet crew yesterday, really, because he got damn blindsided, and then his son, who finished off with a little set, who he's 18, he's 19 in a couple of, I think he's 19 on Sunday, actually. Yeah. But that cross-generational thing, this is something that's growing and growing in drum and bass as we all get older and more generations come in. And it's something that I've spoken to people like, London Elektricity and Ray Keith in great detail and at great length. That connection between the generations is what keeps this music really healthy and really strong, I think.
Oh, without a doubt, 100%. And just being around, because obviously he comes from a different, there's sort of certain things that he would class as classics were probably not classics to us, but because he's a lot younger, and just generally, the zest and the energy as well, I think is really massively important. Massively important.
It's really funny, everybody's idea of what old school is really different. Someone was chatting to me last night and he was like, oh man, that UKF era when you launched that website, that real old school UKF sound. I'm like, no, that's like 20 years not old school for me, but that's that only highlights my age. If old school is relative, isn't it? And it's all relative. What's old school for you?
For me, late 90s, I'd say. Like, I know I'm aging myself here.
No, but late 90s,
late
but then-
90s, early
Well,
2000s.
Mine was like sort of late 80s,
Yeah.
early 90s. So,
That's what I was going to highlight. Everybody
shouldn't really
in
say
between
that,
the
but
two
yeah.
of you. Yeah, I mean, I think there's no shame in saying what your age is. I'm 46 in a couple of weeks' time.
I'm 50 next year, so.
Oh wow, massive party!
Big one, yeah.
Wow.
It's a big one.
21. Yeah, so.
There we go. A great age range between the
baby.
three of us. Right?
I got about eight birthday celebrations set up for next year.
So GrandNu, you've got Zach on board as well. So you're a proper team.
Yes.
I believe you've already launched, haven't you?
Yes, we have. So we've launched and we've got our first release coming up quite soon. Do you want to tell them?
Yeah, it's in the 11th of October, and it's with Hexa and KL.
Oh wow, go on.
We're kind of not going to go down just the route that we obviously write, and it's going to be across probably all subgenres really of drum and bass. It's going to be pretty much everybody else's music rather than our own at this stage.
Okay, so you've got another artist
proper
first.
business, like
and it's we're going to kind of do like a community hub on there where we get people to go on and work, and then we're going to give out feedback to people that are trying to send music in, but do it via a website and stuff like that. So,
Okay.
I mean, we do it anyway. So
have you got your USB? Is it loaded? I didn't
haven't
know if that
loaded
was
it.
Degs'
If you hold that, I'll get one
USB.
ready.
Yeah.
So I mean, like Hexa, brilliant, Mr. Two Mics.
Couple ice creams.
Brilliant. I mean, you just mentioned Hexa and KL. I believe KL is from Newcastle. I know Hexa is from Newcastle.
Yes.
Hexa's been on One More Thing. We had a little Patreon exclusive with him around about the early times when we launched. So big up Hexa.
Yeah, big up.
How did this then, what we're about to listen to, how did this become the launch release? Because that's a massive decision, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Well, we were sent loads and loads of things. So we did kind of like a soft announcement at first. And we provided a route for artists to send in their music, along with some areas of feedback if we had anything, because when you've got new artists sending things in, sometimes they're trying new things, sometimes they want a bit of feedback as well. So it was nice to get some tracks off of him. And once he sent them in, we were like, oh, this one. These two, actually. Oh, wait, no, these five. You just get a bit excited. So there was one that we honed in on and we thought, oh, this would be really, really nice. This sums up like the sound that we're kind of going for. So we were really excited about that. Yeah.
Because it is a big decision. I mean, anything, to avoid that horrible throwaway nature that all forms of contemporary music can fall into, especially within DJ culture, where it feels as if tunes only last a couple of weeks.
Yes.
But I mean, Sun and Bass is a nice reminder, because I've been hearing loads of people drop Cocoon and loads of people dropping, obviously lots like probably Sound Control is probably the biggest tune that I've heard because of Randall.
Yeah, definitely.
All the festival really, but Cocoon seems to be playing quite a lot. Like music lasts a lot longer than anybody thinks and any DJs think.
It's true.
But the decision, that makes it all the more important responsibility-wise and commitment to the music to make sure that you're putting out the very best stuff, really. Mm-hmm. So there's got to be something. I mean, I almost feel like I'm overhyping this now. So, I mean, has this gone public? How many people?
You want the Hexa one on?
Yeah. Oh, what did you...
I'm doing well here, isn't I? So it's fine.
I think Paul was out longer than we
longer,
were.
I'm very responsible night.
Saying, isn't it, normally with me, so...
just a mo.
I tried, as Paul is selecting the tune, I mean, I tried to stay out. I want to soak up as much music as I could, and I really want to see ST Files, because I'd never seen ST Files last night.
Yeah.
But you reach that wall where, especially if you're working at an event, where you just can't. Yes. It's like, I'm a kid in a candy store, but I'm also diabetic in that way. Like, I can't touch all of the candy because I've got to be here doing this. I'm paid to be here doing this. Got to pace
yourself, really, haven't you?
So there are certain things I can't do, but it sounds like you just...
I feel like that as well, but I just end up doing it anyway. Sort of goes a bit wrong every time. I come in with good intentions. It just goes out the window. So,
brilliant.
It is loaded now.
Right, cool. So this is Hexa and KL then.
No, this is just Hexa, but we can do the KL.
Ah, right. We'll do the KL. Hexa. We've got lots of time and stuff.
It's grimy. opposite. It's a bit of the opposite of
Bit of darkness. Sorry, Tony. Still here.
This is great though, a nice bit of
We're
balance.
grim it out for a bit.
Bit of balance. We do like a bit of dark. Yeah, that's it.
Woof, woof, hey.
Yeah. Disgusting.
Yeah.
Makes your bottom lip go. Yeah, that's the best one.
Wow.
I love the bass changes and stuff. It's sick.
You do like a bit of moody music as well, so that's the thing.
Playing with the non-soulful selection.
Flip over the soul table.
This is getting the gun fingers out. People are happy with this. People approve.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Love it, just like the style, man. The way it's minimal and
Let's fade it out there. So I'm in massive shouts to Hexa. Very much a
Big
friend.
up,
Let's
Hexa.
have a round
Well
of
done,
applause.
Hexa.
Hey. Yeah, Hexa is very much known to One More Thing, and we've supported him. And I know he's like a proper kind of hardware head, isn't he? He's
Yeah.
that's why we're hearing some really interesting bass variations there, because that's not out of a splice sample pack.
Nope.
How do you feel about that? Because I literally, as I was leaving for Sun and Bass, that was the furore of the day or the week. Mr. Hazard had said a few things that he said to me in an interview as well. But the UKF one had got picked up and amplified a lot. How do you feel about that whole discussion? Because it was nice to leave that drama behind and leave the frogs at home and just get here. Did you even follow any of that, or how did you feel about it?
yeah, I read it before I came away. But yeah, I mean, I don't really. I think do whatever you got to do to make a good sound. And
Yeah, whether it's a
like,
sample
you know,
pack.
if you just drag something straight out of there and play it, put it in a song and do nothing with it, then everyone's going to know. So you get caught out that way. So I really, I really think you should just do what you got to do good music. Really.
Do what you've got to do good music. Good is the operative word there, really. Or authentic music to yourself.
Yeah, and just to showcase your personality and how you feel about music and stuff like that.
Yeah, and nobody's personality is a drag and drop personality, is it? Really?
No, not really. I think like samples wise, there's differences. There's dragging a hat from somewhere. Like that's one thing. Hi hats and snares. Everyone uses samples for that. That's just a fact of life. But taking ideas which are so specific that they're noticeable as being a sample is that's another kettle of fish, isn't it? So it's better to be creative as possible where you can be, but at the end of the day, everyone uses samples.
But then everyone's maybe learning as well. Do you know what I mean?
That's also a thing.
It's all well and good going, oh, it's brilliant, I can do this and that, and you should be able to do it. But some people are not at that stage. So,
True.
But when you're not at that stage, should you be releasing it? And this is the analogy that I always say when these conversations are happening. It's like lots of people own a guitar and play a guitar, but not everybody plays Pyramid Stage at Glastonbury. You don't have to be putting out. And this is indicative of the late stage capitalist times in which we live. You can't even have a hobby without thinking, I should monetize this because I'm fucking skint. Everything has to be monetized. And that's a sad reflection of where we're at in terms of civilization, really, in that way. Like that you can't just make a tune to just have a tune that you've made in that way. That it has to be.
It has to do something,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
I mean, I remember back from releases of early '90s, and there was always a lot of music that wasn't up to standard production-wise.
Yes,
So,
and
just
people have
to
been
our-
saying
all
this.
the time.
I heard stuff in the early '90s maybe that was incredibly badly put together, but that still went on vinyl, which is probably more expensive than it is to do the digital stuff. So
Yeah, I can't remember the interview that I did. It was here though, and someone was saying stuff about this in an interview, and I remembered something that Fresh had told me. He said there was a time in the early 2000s, and I quote, that you could shit on a piece of vinyl and sell 5,000 units.
It was true.
And I remember it was one of the funniest things he's ever said to in an interview to me. But I think it was in he said it was in the Bad Company reunion interview. That was when it was. But that's it. Yeah, this isn't a new topic. That's a good thing to remember.
Yeah, and it's always been bad music. Do you know what I mean? Like, as in, for me, it might be not bad to somebody else, but...
And on that summary, we'd like to thank you all for the Twitch, and on that positive note, there's always been bad music. We'll be back tomorrow.
That's a good quote, isn't it?
Cool. I mean, when did you two start mingling with each other? When did your paths cross? Because like you said, I mean, you've been making tunes since the early 90s. You've been making tunes later on. So at what point did your paths cross?
I think it was sort of the AIM years, wasn't it?
It was
yeah,
do you remember?
Do you remember? No, I'm kidding. Yes, so it was early AIM days, and everyone was on there, actually. So
yeah, everyone had a contact for everybody to send music.
Yeah.
I think I had a conversation with Tony when we come off the plane, and he said they literally got all their music from AIM at one point. Like literally everything.
Everyone
for
did.
Hospital.
Yeah. But I quite like the kind of egalitarian sense of it, in that you could have Andy C's contact, and
Absolutely.
if tunes came to him, it wouldn't matter where they came from. You know that he would download it, or
Absolutely.
there was, just because it was a name and that was it, that there was a kind of eliminated hierarchies, like or friend requests and things like that, where you either choose to or not engage. Like if tunes were coming into you, you check them out back then. I
Absolutely. But it was also. Everyone was on there. It was like early days of social media, but in the sense that there were only producers and DJs on there, mainly, wasn't it?
It was just all music.
See, your odd mate, but
I think that's how we kind of connected.
We did, yeah.
We were sending each other's our own personal solo stuff, and then we was like, well, she's quite, we're really in massively the same sort of bracket of area of music that we were doing.
Yeah, we were both doing Liquid at the time, actually.
Yeah, and then we was like, well.
So is that in the point of Liquid? Are we talking like mid 2000s? That kind of golden era?
Yes.
Hospital, Creative Source, people like High Contrast coming through, stuff like that. Yeah, like the Logistics era.
Yes, that was it.
Actually,
Logistics, New Tone, High Contrast. It was around that time, and then we liked each other's music, and we thought, let's try a couple of tunes together, and then it just sort of went from there, really. Like our tracks were just being played on the radio then. Like Bailey was playing them, Flight was playing them. They were both on One Extra when they. So then from that, it just sort of became a thing.
I just think we were sort of also, it was just to get a better output. I think we were writing music. I mean, I had something on Steve's BCee. He had something on Fabio's Creative Source. And I think what happened, it just got to a point where we thought if we joined forces, we'd probably have a better output. So that was really.
Can you remember the first time you actually kind of stepped into a studio together or anything? Was there a moment where you thought
we hardly do that now?
Yeah, we don't really do that.
Right,
no. So in the beginning, we were just because it was AIM, we were just sending stuff back and forth just by email. So we would just do that. We
still like that now, really.
Yeah, we still do that, but it's fine though. We just send stuff, add a bit, send it back, add a bit, and then kind of like compare and contrast ideas.
Right.
And,
I find it very difficult with music to go, right, you're booking up and you're going to go and meet Edward on a Thursday and then you're going to do a song. I find that music for me, I'm not sure about Edward, he can ask himself, but I would say that it's just a momentary thing when I feel like something.
Totally.
And then that's when I do it, and it could be in the middle of the night, it could be early in the morning, and that's when I go in and do it. And then I don't.
That's when the creativity hits you.
That's the one.
And I don't think it's not easy to put that in.
Yeah, sometimes we've done studio sessions before, but it's like it's all right, but like sometimes you want to work on a tune in your pants at 2:00 in the morning, eating toast.
Yeah.
And that's not ideal for everyone else. So
Edward more than most.
That's me. Crumbs everywhere. So, but that's really how it works. Is like when you're in the zone, you get your bit of work done, and then you just pass it back, and that's how we're doing it. Yeah.
There's two really, really clear schools of thought there, I think. As there's the kind of collaboration sense in the personality and the vibe that you bring together in the studio, and then there's the collaboration in the sense of, like, sometimes a lot of people don't feel comfortable when they're sitting in the chair and the other person, and you kind of feel a little bit pressured, like,
exactly.
oh God, if I make this mistake.
There probably is a bit of that as well, isn't
There's
there?
a bit of that.
But none of us like to be passengers, do we? So.
And you're also, when you're in the studio, you're kind of like pressed for time, aren't you? So it's better when we're both allowed to kind of like take our own time, and then just come back and it's like, oh, okay, I've done a bit here, like, what do you think, like that?
Yeah, definitely. So it sounds like you're in the kind of that way, because there's the two ways, because I remember I had this one interview, I had 2 interviews in one day. I won't see either of the artists, but one artist, they said to me, like, I really don't like collaborating in person because of all of those pressures. And the next person, I will say, because it was DLR, and it was a very DLR thing to say, it was like, what? No, it's got to be collaboration in person, it has to be a person, it has to be that personal bond. It's very easy for Jay to say that. He lives in Bristol, where most of the drum and bass community
most
live.
of them are there.
But I mean, when you're working jobs and you're in different parts of the country or different parts of the world, because I believe you were in America.
I was in America for a long time as well.
What took you there?
I went to university out there. I had 1 year of secondary school and then like university afterwards.
Oh wow!
So yes, I lived there for a long time, like till God. What was it? I went there in 90.
It was just when we first met, innit? Like,
yeah. And it was sort of like 1998, I want to say. So it's a long time ago. And and then I started I was working on a project called Sabaruco when I was in university, and that was on Horizons Music. And that did fairly well. And then like did my solo thing, and then Paul and I linked up, and then it was around that time I was sort of like doing lots back and forth. And then
when was that? 2010 or something like that? Was it earlier? Or was it earlier?
I think maybe 2008, 9.
Okay.
Because yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Cool. And when did it? Sorry, I squeaked then. When did the V connection? Because there was V. I mean, I imagine like Brian kind of really consolidated your duo, and
Brian's been everything for us, to be honest.
He really has. He's been a godsend. I know Degs was talking earlier about like being an artist on a label and being able to grow with it, and the label allowing you to do that. And V is very good for that. So in the beginning we had one particular sound, didn't we?
It's just like upbeat liquid stuff. Really upbeat.
And we kind of planned that first EP because at the time we were talking about earlier, liquid was very. It was lovely, but it was very chilled and sort of relaxed.
It had gone from that gritty kind of sample-based creative source, kind of raw groove-based, to almost coffee table.
Yes.
It's gone very light.
Yes, lounge.
Yeah.
Pizza.
Wishy-washy, I call it.
Pizza, coffee shop, lounge sort of vibes, yeah. Which is fine. Like, that is really nice. Everyone likes that. It's fun. But
it doesn't kick ass on the dance
yes,
floor.
exactly.
We do like a bit of the weight to the...
a bit of energy. And so when we did the first EP on V, we were like, right, this is a plan. Right, we're going to make liquid tunes, but we're going to make them like that. Yeah, there's a bit more energy. And that's exactly what we did. We sent it to Brian, and he was like, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He was gassed immediately, loved it.
I think he actually sent a contract through to sign us
straight away.
After that EP.
Wow.
Sorry, after the one song, wasn't it?
Oh, yes, it was the one song, and then we did 3 others.
Yeah.
And he was like, I want this. And then that was it.
Yeah, and then we've been there ever since, really, haven't we? So, yeah.
Go on. Do you know, funnily enough, I was just thinking as you were saying that, like the last time I was here, so 2018 was Moon in Your Eyes. Like that was, everybody was playing it. It was the anthem of the festival, really. Yeah. And I think that was a real turning point for you guys. And a turning point for Serum as well, really. Like,
Yeah.
I think he did sort of change his style a bit, didn't he? We were changing our style a bit, and I think that just, we sort of all met, the 3 of us, at exactly the right time.
Yeah.
It was one of those tunes that everyone was playing. I remember Digital talking to me about it, and like, you know, Digital,
Scott, Goldie, everybody was playing it.
Everyone was playing it. And we had Take My Breath Away as well. There was another one as well.
Yeah.
But it was that thing, like when we planned to do sort of energetic liquid, it slowly started to morph, like a bit dark, like release by release. It started to get a little bit darker. Still soulful, still vocal, but a little bit more like edgy, and then it's just carried on from there, really.
Brilliant. And I would probably say that's the V energy there. That's the
Exactly.
V freedom there.
Exactly.
It's still it's raw, it's underground music as well as being kind of professional and like one of the biggest labels in drum and bass, but it's still got that rawness. Like.
And it's fun. V's fun, isn't it? V's got a fun vibe, energetic.
Does always a party
Positive.
vibe. Like no matter where it kind of goes
All
musically.
all styles of influences in the music they do.
Definitely.
And I don't know anyone else who puts out so much music like Brian. Do you know what I mean? So
The constant.
He's a
isn't
monster. He's a monster on the A&R, to be fair. So,
in all senses, and a monster behind the decks. And I imagine this, the V energy then, that's going to be, that is within the DNA of GrandNu as well then, really. That's where you're taking a lot of inspiration and probably a lot of business advice. So we're going to talk about like the practicalities of launching a label in a moment. Yeah. But what's the next tune you're going to play to us?
Should we play one of ours, actually, or should we just go back onto the label? What do you want to do? I'm easy.
Oh, we've got time for both. We've got time for both.
Okay.
We've got... we've got 25 minutes.
Oh, okay, cool.
And we're still on the stream. Oh, yes. There's loads of people on the stream. Big up.
Let's put it from a different artist. We'll do it from KL this time.
Okay.
Right. So is this going to be the second release then?
This is going to be the third.
Well, all right, the third release on GrandNu.
This is probably next year, really, to be honest. So.
Okay, brilliant. Okay. Let's go. And I'll do a jingle.
Ready?
The One More Thing, Sun and Bass Social.
Hello.
Professional looking up.
There we go.
Just to take it a little bit more moody again.
Got a long intro, sorry Dave.
Big up everybody in the chat. Big up Special Tater. Big up Unknown Factor. Big up Diligent Fingers.
Squeak.
That's basically what everybody sounds like after a week of sun and bass.
All day.
Wow, big up over there.
Bit rude, isn't it?
A lot of love for this one in the chat. Big up Diligent Fingers. My word, big up KL.
Nasty.
It's just dropping down.
Okay, let's fade that out
Let's
then.
fade this out, go on. Just play the amount we normally play in a club.
That's probably about a minute longer than most people would normally, but keeping those variations in and getting it like, even better as that stops people from switching it out so quickly then.
Yes,
really,
you've got to
isn't it?
play through it a bit longer.
It's definitely about, after that sort of 32 or 64 bars, you've actually got to try and do something even better.
Yeah.
To make people want to not mix out of it, do you know what I mean? And it's the same as chatting to Benny L last night and second drops and stuff like that, and they're all disappearing and the songs are getting shorter.
We were chatting to Luke LSB about this yesterday as well, because he's doing like the space age kind of concept with DRS, where it comes from the mixtapes that were very deep, and so they're playing parts of the mixtape and they're letting the tunes roll out in a very different way, and watching loads of people really drift away to those big breakdowns. And you know, the things that I really loved about electronic music when I came in was trance, you know, that kind of euphoria and that sense of space.
The journey.
It's like, because what got me into drum bass, well, the bit I loved most was like the Bookham, you know, the good-looking records, and you know, I mean, the drifting, the sort of ambience, and the lose yourself. You know,
Definitely. And I think, you know, we do come back round to that, and there are spaces where we can do that really, but it's really important to kind of have that variation. So I'm interested now in like a lot of artists will launch their own labels quite earlier on in their career as a springboard to establish themselves as a solo artist. You're an established duo now, so this is like the flip really now. This is where you're taking everything that you've learned from all the labels, and this is where you're able to now kind of articulate that and take that into your own way. So what has been the biggest thing? And you know, I'm developing One More Thing as a label as well as everything else, so I'm on this learning journey as well. I'm here to steal your experiences and learn from you now. But what's been the biggest, what was the most daunting thing that maybe stopped you from launching a label a few years ago, 10 years ago, or anything like that?
I would say it was just having someone else to do it with us, really.
Yeah.
Because I think we're both so engrossed in the music, where we're going to be playing, what sort of sets we're going to do, where we're travelling to, family life. I just think it was just, to be honest, it was just time. It was just time.
I agree with that. There's so much going on most of the time for us anyway, that it's nice to have like another person there to kind of like, okay, this is what we do. It kind of keeps us in line, so to speak.
I think we wouldn't have wanted to do it because we wouldn't want to do it sort of, so it didn't actually, you know, do what we expected it to do. Do you see what I mean? So I don't think we would have just put half effort in, you know, half mask with it, sort of thing. So
all or nothing at all.
Yeah. It's got to be good, right?
Exactly.
And what's the biggest thing you've learned now you're on that journey, and you're putting it all into place? You've got releases lined up. It's all happening. You're being interviewed by me about it live in Sardinia right now. So lovely
which is great, by the way.
What's the biggest thing that you've learned so far?
I mean, to be honest, because we've been in the, you know, even with V, we've been involved in the release schedules, the art. We choose all our own art direction and all the songs, the way that the videos are going to be, the animation. We'd be heavily involved in all of that. So, so we wasn't just here's some music and turn up and everyone else has decided how it's going to look. So we've chose all the artwork ourselves, picked out the people to commission, picked out the people to do our animation videos for the releases. So we, to be fair, and then we pick out the masters we want to use. So so we kind of knew it all anyway, to be really honest. It was just the admin side of it, I think.
Yeah, it's just actually doing like writing emails and all.
the dry,
awful
horrible
business
side.
stuff. Yeah, but I think it's good as well. There was a lot to kind of pick up about like where the tracks are going to go on in terms of Spotify or YouTube, and like just ordering things in a certain way so that you get the most out of them and the most amount of coverage as possible in a certain amount of time before.
Yeah, and getting the pitching correct, you know, that's really important, the pitching.
Wow. Okay, so these are like the real kind of dry sides of the label that are essential now.
They're business. It's just business stuff, and it's good to learn all of that stuff. We've been on the artist side, involved in the business a bit, but like when you're actually doing it yourself, you're like, oh, okay, I didn't really think about that. There's a couple more bits to actually consider.
That's the stuff I'm learning at the moment, and it's something that I would very much like a label manager to do for me.
Exactly.
But it sounds like you're invested. Like this is, you've got a team of creatives who you're calling upon for these things. You're realising that no duo is an island in that way. No. That if you want the best music, you also want the best representation, best design, and best art and stuff like that.
It's all a package, you know. Like even though music is digital, you still got to have artwork and the press shots and all these things. It all matters.
I do think the art and the way that the music comes across visually, as well as like sort of through the sound, the audio, I think is really important. So, so it's quite nice to normally it's just our releases that we can control that art direction, but obviously with the label, we can actually
got even more control.
Got even more control over the whole thing. So.
Tell me about how you came up with GrandNu as well, because that to me is almost kind of got like an old school hip hop feel to it a little bit. And I don't know why that's kind of like, but that's what the kind of the branding and the title has has hit me with the connotations in my head. I'm not too sure why, but what was it about this? Because I mean, again, it's like
everyone's looking at me now.
Do you want to tell him? Tell him about the painting.
It's basically I love a lot of old artwork, and I've got loads of art in my house.
Art collector.
Yeah,
He's actually making some money from drum and bass.
Yeah. I'm a bit of an art collector, so I've been for a long time. So, and I really like a guy called Martin Sharp. That done all the hash and coloured coat that was originally for the Beatles. And
oh wow! Okay, cool.
And one of the pieces of work he had was called GrandNu, so I thought that'd be fitting. And it means, what does it mean, Ed?
It means right. So it means large nude in French, because that was the subject of the subject of the painting. Believe it or not, yeah. So we were like, oh, that sounds really cool. And then we found out, we thought, oh. Well, fuck it, we didn't do it anyway. Just go with it.
Yeah, I also quite like the fact it did sound a little bit like, the Ronnie Size sort of sound, like the with it being brand new, and then the grand. Yeah. And obviously, grand does sound better than brand. Do you know what I mean? And
yes.
Then the new not being spelt that way. So yeah, I thought it was really catchy.
Yeah.
I thought
a little bit of a play on words with new and
yeah. Brilliant, and some naked connotations deep in the background.
Everyone
of
likes
the
naked.
Yeah. So I was like, perhaps we shouldn't have something like a logo in that way.
Yeah, we were circling through lots of logos. We were like, should it be a naked person? No, I don't know.
I think we better give up.
We gave up. Yeah.
Well, that's the two things that people seem to ask to be sent: are nudes or dubs. Really.
As long as they're not for me or Ed, don't worry.
It's a legal tender.
Brilliant. So I'd like to hear some more music now, another exclusive. And I think you were talking about maybe something new from yourselves, maybe?
Yeah. So should we do the one that we've just literally released with B, yeah?
Right, okay. So put a guest earlier on from the show as well then. Did you say,
yes.
Yeah, you did say BCee there, didn't you? Is it BCee?
No, it's not BCee.
Oh, he just said a tune that we did with BCee.
Oh, no.
I didn't mean to say that.
No, you didn't say that. Okay. You didn't. I don't know what you said, but I understood it. Oh, okay. And
that's how the sort of
we're still
telepathy
awake.
Me and Edward
we're
have.
Awake.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know the one you mean. So it's going to be the one with V.
Yeah.
We've recently had this release. Actually, a week now, I think.
I think it came out a week ago.
A week ago. Yeah.
Okay, so not quite so exclusive, but still incredibly fresh.
It will be. We've got some other bits. Yeah, it's fine, don't worry.
Destination Sardinia. It's the one more thing Sun-based social.
Got some more exclusive bits to do after it. This is Edward singing, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Disgusting.
This is wicked. I have been playing this.
Bit of a stomper, yeah, I love that. It's like going down a ladder, isn't it?
Falling down that
It's falling down a ladder. Nice and bouncy, this one.
Yeah,
Bit of fun.
yes.
Elbows in the club, like, wow.
This is actually in my possibly for Sun and Bass playlist on my USB.
Is it?
Yeah. Game Over or something like that? Is it called Game Over?
Bad Boy.
Bad Boy.
Bad Boy.
There is something else on the EP called Game Over then. But this seems to be like a regular thing. I'm getting a lot of my facts wrong. I think it's the hot weather. Like
It is.
the hotter it gets, the more my accuracy goes down. And I kind of get in that early 2000s or mid 2000s, that like high contrast basement track type of vibe. Warm.
It's just like a sort of a jazz bass as well, isn't it?
Lovely bit of electronic jazz bass, yeah. Little touches of acid as well. Yeah.
So we've only got 11 more minutes left on
another
this
tune,
stream. That is amazing stuff, and we are going to hear at least one more tune there. But that was, I want to shout out Graham in the chat. Yeah, big up Diligent Fingers. Definitely a Bad Boy tune, and it is called Bad Boy. It's not called Game Over. That is my error. There's been many errors over the last few days, but there's been plenty of vibes as well. Excuse me. So yeah, tell me then about like when, because right, GrandNu is going to be all about new artists and stuff like that. So you're putting new artists before yourselves, but there will be material from you guys as well. Or are you saving that for V? And
it's all going to be for V because we're halfway through doing an album at the moment. So
Yeah, we're still working on it.
To be fair, kind of the label was more for us as a community hub thing, which was about bringing other people through. So that was
brilliant.
Yeah, so
brilliant.
Yeah, that's our primary.
So I really love the symmetry of what we've had today then. So we've had London Elektricity, who really wanted a label. Having left the label, which catapulted so many careers, he wanted a label for his own music.
Yeah.
You are on a massive label, which catapults many careers, and now you guys want to pass that on and share that love
100%.
and boost other people.
Yeah,
that's it. I mean,
we want
that's
to bring
perfect
people
symmetry.
through, really.
Yeah,
we couldn't have had a better person to bring us through with Brian. So.
Yeah.
We're nice guys, so we're just the same, so we can do the same thing for other people.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what One More Thing is here for as well, is that we need these community spots. We need these platforms.
100%,
we need to support other people.
Absolutely.
I think as time has gone by and as the game has gone quite competitive, sometimes people forget that and stuff like that. Sometimes people keep their own powder too dry and don't really share it. That's an awful analogy to make at a festival. I meant gunpowder. I meant the actual saying. Right. We'll stick to the pie analogy. I think some people just like to keep their slice of pie instead of making shitloads of pies. I think, as you can see from the size of me, I love baking. Like,
Ed likes pies, don't I?
You don't eat enough pies, mate.
He hasn't had enough. He hasn't had many.
He's working on me, don't worry.
Go on, cool. So I've got to pick up some people in the chat. Graham, we are in a pizza oven. We are. Actually, it's freezing here, so we're all standing really close to the oven to keep warm. It's really cold and really miserable here. You wouldn't enjoy it. It's the worst sun and bass ever.
Don't come.
So much more. It was so much more fun back in the UK.
Cool. I mean, have you got any more exclusives?
We got two exclusive remixes that we're working on. So
2 exclusive remixes, and we've got exactly the right amount of time to listen to both.
Shall I
of
say
them.
what they are before we do it, or are you gonna?
No. Yeah, say what they are. We'll do one. Have another chat, and then do another.
Yeah. So after doing Bad Boy, we had obviously Ronnie Size Message, and we done a couple of VIP versions for him, just to play.
Wow.
And then on the back of that, then we end up doing a remix of Fashion. So.
Which is an old school tune.
Old school tune. Yeah. So we've.
Wow.
Like mid-90s. Mid-90s V tune. And we did it when we were away in Australia, actually.
Yeah.
And we were like, let's just fucking do this one. Why not?
On tour in Australia, and Ronnie
in a tiny little flat.
Yeah, we were in a flat with Brian, and we were like, Brian, can we do this to this tune? Yeah, let's just do it. And Brian sent it to Ronnie later, and Ronnie loved it. So, yeah. This is the one.
Wow. Well, shouts to Brian, shouts to Ronnie as well. Do you? I mean, are you too established in the game and too experienced to feel the pressure, or is that still pressure?
I don't think we don't feel pressure anymore.
Never feel pressure?
No, they meant.
Even when you're remixing, like when people have entrusted you in a classic, then the pressure.
No.
Okay,
I
so I
think 'cause
asked
we've been
Owen
a-
Rowland
yeah.
for some life skills yesterday
Yeah.
on how to de-stress.
Yeah.
How do you not feel pressure? Because I feel pressure. I feel pressure just saying the word pressure. Like, how do you not feel pressure?
I don't know. I think because we've
just don't.
We've been
I don't know.
around. We've been around all these artists for a long time. Do you see what I mean? And
We have, yeah.
I remember playing for LTJ Bookham at like sort of 2012 or something like that. At Fabric.
Yeah.
And then when you're next to all these great people, and then you can actually have a conversation about music, and I think that just makes a calming influence.
They're all just real people
Yeah,
at the
just
end
normal,
of the day.
they're
aren't
just
they?
normal,
So-
real people with
Yeah.
musical talent. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
That's basically
yeah.
it. Do you see what I mean? So,
Definitely.
yeah.
Well, I mean, as the man dressed in Gucci and looking damn fine, like, then
I'm
fashion
trying.
is definitely something that you should play. So another cheesy segue. Let's have a listen.
Destination Sardinia. It's the one more thing Sun and Bass Social.
It's a bit gruesome, let's just say that.
Yeah, this is rude.
Rude, grimy and gruesome.
Do you remember this song? Do you remember Fashion, yeah?
Not at the time.
Yeah?
In the mid-90s, I was heavy metal. Completely heavy
Right,
metal.
same.
And it wasn't until the later 90s, so I know the tune, but only in maybe say like kind of from digging in the early 2000s.
Right.
I've got the original on vinyl.
Same, yeah.
Woof!
Disgusting.
Oh!
Yeah, we like it dirty. Got to.
Wow! Exclusive remix, Paul T and Edward Oberon on a remix of an absolute Ronnie size classic. Wow! That's brilliant, and you've got another exclusive remix of Bless in a moment as well.
We
So
have.
that just came about then on the headphones or on shitty little laptop speakers, or did you take? Because you did it on tour in Australia.
Leave it away,
To be
yeah.
honest, you've got the worst headphones I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He has, right.
Wow,
He's
there's
got,
some drum and bass
I
drama
know.
right here. It's
Oh
gonna
my
get
God,
kicked off.
ew.
They've got sellotape on them and everything. So
No, they don't. No,
So
they
that
don't,
was the old
actually.
set, I'm joking.
The old
It's
set
masking
did.
tape.
The
The
old
old
set.
set did. It had like bits of food and everything. No, crumbs and all sorts. But yeah, we were away and it was late night and we'd been sent because it was a 30 years of V tour, and we'd been sent a load of like old V tunes, and we came across it. And we thought,
Yeah,
oh,
definitely.
this would be like. Yeah, let's do it to this one. Yeah. So it's really fun.
And
Yeah,
when we
it's
sent
good.
it to him, and he loved it. To be fair, that was just great as well because
Yeah.
you sort of send it over and not nervous, but just like it's
There's
hoping
That's a
the
little bit of pressure, a little bit of
right
pressure.
there.
A little bit,
They
maybe a
feel
little
the
bit.
pressure.
Well, we got Brian to send it to him. Brian played it out when we were out there, And he was like, "Oh, that's fucking sick!" Like, yeah. And then he sent it to him, and then we got a message from Ronnie just saying like, "Oh, this is really good. Yeah, love it." So,
which is great. Which is really good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
go
okay.
on. So what's the next remix? Is it from the same kind of collection and stuff like that, the same, or is this a whole other thing now?
No, this comes back from the connection when I used to work with Adam F years ago.
Wow,
So
right. This was early
This is
times.
early. It's
Yeah.
about, I think it was, I was trying to put a bit of a date on it. I think it was about, I would say it was about 97, 98, I would say, around that sort of time. And
So that's when Adam F was absolutely one of the
I think
most
he was big
integral,
then.
influential.
it was, when I went round there, he was doing Circles, and he was trying to do the Colours album at that point.
Right,
So
wow.
I ended up, because I could play a little bit of bass back then, but I ended up doing the bass line for Dirty Harry for him on that album, which my name's on the back, by the way. But
Wow, go on, a bit of history there. Go on, that's cool.
But anyway, yeah. So long and short of it. So we went to the Comrade Memorial, rest in peace, and I met him again now after years and years and years, and he said, "Oh, you're doing well, you too. Do you want to do a remix?" And I was like, "Yep." And
that's it.
And that
Yeah.
is it.
That is the story, and that is it. Yeah. So
Wow.
So we got to do aromatherapy. So.
Wow, and
Which is a personal favourite. So
amazing, and that's what we're going to sign out this stream with.
Yeah.
So
Brilliant.
amazing! Thank you so much
Thanks
for
for having us,
sharing all
Dave.
of these exclusives. It's been a very dub heavy day, heavier with dubs than I thought, which is exceptional. Really, it's proof that when you actually ask people to bring along a USB, they bring along a USB. And I kind of mentioned it in passing to previous guests, but maybe not made a thing out of it. We made a thing out of it today. And it's been a really, really exciting show,
glad you did.
unique as well. So it's great to have this and to sign out now with. I mean, have you got any idea on release dates or
I have
anything?
no
like that?
idea.
It's
Yeah,
too soon.
So
too
yeah,
fresh.
it's literally probably a week.
Week or two
Week
old.
or two old, and
Yeah.
Adam
F loves it.
Adam F
so
loves
it's all
it,
good.
so it's coming. So not sure when.
Amazing,
Okay.
amazing. Right, so we'll crank that up and we'll be saying goodbye after the tune and stuff. But thank you to everybody on the chat and thank you to everybody who supported us. I'll press play on the jingle, you press play on the tune, and together they'll come in this wonderful way.
You're in tune with the
Just
One More
rolling.
Thing Sun and Base Social. Keep it locked.
That's last night's effective alcohol coming out.